You guys like before and after videos? So do I. So stay tuned. We're gonna go through this together. So this project has a little bit of a special case. This home had been for lease on the market since July. Yeah, right now it is November 29th. And this house has been on the market since July. So the owners finally called me. They're like, hey, this place is not selling. We need to do some staging. I offered them a good deal just to do a partial staging. But trust me, even the partial staging makes a huge difference, especially in this space. This home has some unique features, and you're going to see these unique features. So let's dive right in, get right into it. Right at the outset, you can see we have some problems. Let me stop it. Let me stop right here and explain. So right away, you'll notice just from looking at the entrance, there is some weird wood mixed with tile pathway thing that somebody decided was a good idea to do. It might have looked cool. I'm thinking maybe somewhere in the 80s. I mean 80s would be a safe guess when this house was actually popping, because you can see the glass brick partitions in this house. But that's usually not a deal breaker. But let me tell you, this house is in terrible shape. But those patch situations with the tile, today's modern buyers looking at that and they're like, or modern leaser in this case. Okay, so here's the living room. It's a nice size, but can you guess what's wrong with this picture? So I pulled back a little bit, because I had to pull back so you guys can see this inlaid rug in the middle of the wood. Also, another and the type of rug, the type of carpet that's inlaid to the wood. Oh my gosh. So people come in and they see this, and they, especially people with no visualization skills, they're going to be like, what in the crap is this? So yeah, that definitely is going to have to need some magic. So take a look at the after. What did I do to this living room? The first thing I did was I added a area rug over that inlaid carpet situation, industrial carpet thing. That actually helped to break it up and to make it look like that outer inlaid rug is part of the inner rug, so that it almost looks like something that's together. So that helps distract from that feature, which people might look at and not know what to do with. So that's number one. Number two, this is a family-oriented area. So I staged it in transitional style. So it's transitional with a little bit of modernness because the colors are light and bright. The house trends dark when you go in there. It's like, because of the angles and where it's located in terms of light, the house tends to look a little dark when you first walk in. So the best thing that you can do is make sure the furniture is very light. And then lastly, I used a lot of neutral colors, but I layered them so it's not boring. You don't want to layer like white on white on white on white on white. No, you want to put a little bit of white with some grays, with some beige, with a little bit of brown. In this case, I use lighter browns. The reason why I use lighter browns is because the house is dark. You want everything when they first walk in, even with the lights out, for the furniture to actually be visible, seen, and the whole room tends to light up when you add lighter furniture. So that's the living room. Okay, so here's the kitchen nook area. Look, you see patchy patch with the tile. It's even in the hallway, oh my gosh. And then here's the dining space, same thing. Big old tile inlay. So you can see in this area, so there's the kitchen nook area that has the tile patch with the wood. And then as you walk through to get to the dining space, it's the same thing. It's just overkill with the whole inlaid tile patchy situation. Again, people don't know what to do with that. They're confused. So what I'm going to do is try to take their attention away from the patchy tile. And you'll see what I do with these two areas in a second. So you can see with the dining room, what I did is I took a nice big neutral, natural, and actually quite trendy rug. I think it was like 9 by 12, and covered the entire tile patch in the dining space, just so people can just not feel like it's everywhere. So I covered it, and then I added a nice round table to complement the modern light fixture that they already had installed. The light fixture was great. So I used a round table because of the size of the space. It's actually a good size. You could have used a rectangular or a square table in that space, but I chose round because I wanted to highlight the round modern light fixture and make it all look like it's cohesive and together. And I added 6 chairs. The 6 chairs, large table, round table, under a round light fixture, just gives you the idea that, oh, I can hold dinner parties here. I can host Christmas dinner here. But yeah, so I complemented the space with a round table. I added 6 chairs. I made sure the chairs were a light color, and I added the wood table in a trendy walnut finish that's going around everywhere. And so now the space looks completely updated and ready for a person to just come in and live. So the kitchen nook was an easier fix. I didn't have to cover the tile or anything because it's a kitchen nook, and the kitchen nook matches the actual kitchen tile that's in the kitchen. So that's kind of complimentary. All I needed to do was add some lighter colored chairs and a nice dark table that contrasts with the lighter color tile floor. And then that just makes a huge difference. It makes the space, it highlights the space a little bit and shows how useful the space is. You know, kids can do homework at the kitchen nook table. You can, edit your recipe book there. It's just a useful, wonderful space that actually complements the tile on the floor and goes with the tile in the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. It's a nice kitchen. It has updated appliances, some shelving spaces. It's not a terrible kitchen. We can do something with this. So there's not a lot you need to do with kitchens, especially if the kitchens are halfway decent. Just a few plants, something to complement those little shelves. You see how I put things on the shelves, and I left it mostly empty. So kitchens are mostly simple. All you have to do is complement like extra space. For example, in the shelves that you saw, those little round end cap shelves that were on that L-shaped island. I just added a few, bowls, plates, wine glasses, just to show its utility. You want to make sure that people can see that, oh, I can use this for something and not, worry about the fact that, oh, these are completely outdated. We don't want to worry about that. We want to worry about how they're going to be used. So I just added some of that. I added some greenery. Obviously, adding greenery to a space always makes a huge difference. For some reason, on a psychological level, humans like to have green things in their home. I just have the instinct to make sure that I put some kind of greenery in a space, but that's all you really need to add to this kitchen in this case. You can also see the kitchen nook in the background, which looks really nice, ties into the kitchen really well. Everything looks clean and elegant. I left the L-shaped countertop empty for a reason. A lot of people would just put a whole bunch of things on there, but this kitchen is not big. It's very small. I want it to look bigger. And sometimes what you don't stage can make a difference compared to everything else that's staged. So keep that in mind. Okay, I pull back a little bit more. Here's the bathroom. I won't cover the bathrooms this time because that will make this a very long video, but we're gonna go down the hallway and we're gonna hit the primary residence, the primary suite here. You wanna get a good 360 view of the primary room so you can see all the corners. So you might be asking, okay, this is the primary suite, what's wrong with it? Number one, it's very small. It's extremely small. I mean, I wouldn't say extremely small, but it's on the small side for sure. Then it skews very dark. It's extremely dark. Actually, this room has a skylight, but for some reason they can't open the skylight. So if you have a room that's small and you have a skylight, even if you have a room that's big and you have a skylight, make sure you're able to open the skylight so you can let in the natural light. Natural light is a selling feature. I have to come in and I have to figure out how to make this room look light, bright, and welcoming without it being very bright. Another thing that you're gonna notice, that you probably noticed in this room, is that it has dark curtains up. Yes, the people who lived there needed the dark curtains because they wanted to shut out the light probably when they were going to sleep. You can sleep in, some blackout curtains. The curtains were opened, but typically when I stage a home, I recommend that you remove all curtains so that as much light as possible gets in. This house is backed up against a hill, like right against a hill in the hills. So the homes that are backed up against a hill that have a hilly backyard tend to skew a lot darker than other homes. So you want to make sure that any kind of light that you can get in whatsoever, that's just normal, fresh daylight, you want that to be able to get in your home. So that's a problem. So how are we going to fix it with the staging? I'm going to show you in a second. Now, doesn't that look like a bedroom that you want to spend some time in? It's nice, it's luxurious, it looks comfortable, it looks actually quite spacious. The reason why it looks spacious is because I didn't use a king bed. A lot of people, when you see a primary room, they're like, oh, put a king bed. No, you don't put a king bed in every primary room. You want to make it look luxurious and you want the bed to look big and accommodating, but you don't want it to take up most of the room. I used a queen bed in this space because it's adequate for this type of space. Then I added some luxurious faux fur cover on the end of the bed. That gives the look of this is the primary room. This is the, luxury room. This is the selling point room. You want to add something that's really cool that adds a selling point to it. Number 3 is that I added very fluffy pillows on the bed. I wanted to make sure that the bed was very fluffy. It looks very luxurious, very comfortable. Another thing is all the bedding is white. It has to be white for a room that's super dark. You always want to make sure it's white. And also you can see that on the other side of the bed, on the opposite side of the foot of the bed, I put a storage bench there, a place that you can sit. You add some utility. You have to add utility, especially if the room is very small. I can't put a dresser in that room because it's very small. It has a pretty big closet. And another thing you need to note, the closet had mirrored doors. The mirrored doors are great. They reflect the light coming from the patio doors. There's patio doors there. That it's basically the only source of light in this room. So they did a good job with the mirrored doors. My job was to make sure that the room looks very spacious, very open, ready to move in, something that's not like coming down on you with darkness. And I think that I achieved it with this particular look. At this point, we've covered living room, dining room, kitchen nook, kitchen, primary bedroom. That's pretty much all I'm going to cover right now. However, you're going to see, I'm going to attach to the end of this video, the promo video that I create for my clients. The reason why I do this is because I want them to have something to help sell the home. Realtors can use this. People can post it online. They can do whatever they want with it. But I like to add a little extra bonus because I have the ability of video editing and things like that to do that. So take a look at this and you'll see the final product all together in a nice, lovely video. Stay tuned.